What's good? Welcome to First Ring Podcast. Don't forget to download that. Oh, First Ring Podcast is presented by Bet Rivers. I'm tripping. Don't forget to download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. Must be 21 years or older to play. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the First Ring Podcast. Follow all of us on Twitter. You'll see our Twitter handles up here in a little bit. But you know what we're about to do? We're about to get right into it. We're going to bring in the squad. We got special guests today. We got Smokin Joe, McKay, and we got the voice, Bram Weinstein. And we're going to bring all that to you. I promise it. I promise you. But first off, let me bring in a guy who's looking for a horse out of Georgia. My main man, Said. What's good, Said?
You got that right.
Hey, and we're gonna bring in the most passionate fan I know, you know, everybody know, my main man Paulie. What's good, Paulie?
L to the W, man. Shout out 3DG, man. 2028.
Yeah, let's go. And then we're gonna bring in Smokin Joe McKay. How are you, sir?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, we are doing great. And then as soon as he finished crunching, we're going to bring in the voice of the Washington Commanders, the one and only Bram Weinstein. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Hello, Bram.
We are doing great. So, listen, this is sort of like a reunion because we got Bram and Smokin Joe here. They some friends from a long time. I heard a backstory, and somebody correct me if I'm right or wrong here. Y'all were neighbors or something like that?
Yeah. When I guess when I first moved into Washingtonian Woods, Bram, I think that you were there for like a short time. Over
wow.
Yeah.
Did we hang out? I don't remember. Have you over there?
Yeah.
Those are the halcyon days of me drinking a lot. So,
wow.
You're taking me back. All right.
Well, it was over 20 years ago. So over 20 is an excuse with anybody now.
Yeah. So let's say what's up to everybody in the house. Hawk TV first in the building. Bruce Glass, Cal. Hey, we appreciate all of y'all for coming through the way y'all do and support us. Go Caps is in the building. We appreciate y'all too. Man, I'm just so happy. Yo, guys, they were here early and often. So let's jump right into this today. Let's get right into our rundown. We're going to make some picks here in a second, but I got to ask you guys, you've been watching the NBA playoffs and everything like that. Miami Heat lead the series 1-0, and the Golden State Warriors lead their series 1-0. Which team do you guys think has a better chance of tying up the series before heading home? The Boston Celtics or the Dallas Mavericks? Let's start with you, Bram.
Marcus Smart playing.
Marcus Smart is playing.
I'll give Boston a better chance of tying the series then.
Boston.
I think without him, I don't think they have the defensive prowess that they had. And I like Miami to win this series. I think it's going to be a long series. It's going to be a throwback. I think we're going to see a lot of low-scoring games once Boston gets their players back. I don't know. I don't see Dallas beating Golden State. Do you? I don't.
I'm hoping so because the longer the series goes, the more I get to see it. So let's go 7. And Bruce here says Boston also. Smokin Joe, who do you think is going to tie their series up?
Well, after watching the Celtics last night, you mean
Golden State?
Golden State. Well, since you guys are in Dallas, and my neighbor from Latvia has got some Latvia connections for Dallas, I got to root for the Mavericks. So,
all right.
The underdog.
Paulie, who you think?
Yo, come on, Celtics, man. That's easy,
Celtics.
man. Like my man Brand said, Marcus Smart. I told y'all, man, he's the straw that stirs that drink.
And Al Horford is playing now too. So, who do you got, Blink?
Yeah, like everyone else, I got to say Boston. I watched the Mavericks are confused by that Chicago Bulls weave that the Golden State Warriors are running. That's all I saw. I saw lives to the rim, the front of the rim.
You know what? That's not really what it was. They got to do a better job on offense too. They were just standing around watching Luka.
I know,
they got to get some ball movement too.
A lot of that weave they were using had Luka moving a lot, and he had to switch back and forth. And he had to guard people more than he had to guard people in the last series. So I think they got to figure that out for the most part. We're going to start switching back and forth, or they're going to stay one man on one man. I think Golden State did a great job, but you're right. Though. I think Boston has a better chance of going back tying up the game one apiece.
Alexander Wilson in the building. He said Heat and 6. He says the Heat and 6. That is probably going to be one of the best defensive matchups that they're going to offer. I heard Bram talking about it earlier. About this earlier. It's two defensive heavyweights. They believe in defense, and they're going to play some extreme defense. So yeah, if Dallas hits their shots, then definitely they have a shot because.
I'm more on the mindset that Dallas and Golden State is not going to be a defensive prowess. So Dallas need to get their offense going, and standing around the perimeter waiting for a 3-point shot ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? They need more ball movement and not just watching Luka go to work at the top of the key.
Exactly. Next thing before we get really into this, Tiger's back on the PGA Tour, and he shot 4 over today. He shot 4 over, shot a 74, and as he was leaving, he said his leg was hurting. It's good to have Tiger back. Of course, your guy wasn't missed at all, but Rory has the lead in the building, chilling. But Tiger is always the draw. Do we think he has a chance to make the cut? Let's start with Paulie.
No. Tiger has shown, man, if he ain't healthy, he ain't gonna make the cut, man. Look, you're gonna get this from Tiger, man. He's been out too long. You know, he's up there in age. He's in pain. You know, you're gonna get this for a couple of tournaments out of him. So I don't think he's gonna make the cut, man. F Tiger Woods.
Joe, how you feel about Tiger?
I don't think Tiger's going to make the cut. I mean, like when I saw him in his post interview, he just looked like he was, he was hurting, he was tired, and I saw Roy go wire to wire at Congressional. I think Bram remembers that, and him being on the lead at that course with the way he chips, he's going to be tough. He's going to be tough.
Bram?
I think it's a miracle he's even playing in this stuff. I mean, honestly, like that's the win. That golf has him back and he's out there. That's the win. So, like, I think it's just foolish to think he's going to be competitive just in general after what he's been through. So, I'm just happy he's playing. I think it's good for the sport. And I think we should lower the expectations significantly on him. And, if he's walking off saying his legs hurt, that's his way of saying, I'm not going to make the cut. So I don't expect it.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, I don't think it's a win, Bram. This is not a win. Seeing a broke down Tiger limping his way around, limping away, missing cuts. That's not Tiger Woods, man. That's Eldrin Woods.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Tiger I know, you know what I mean? That's not a win.
He's never going to be the same, though. He's never going to be the same. Like, he almost died. Like, he's never going to be the same.
I hear you. I hear you. But that was last tournament. Getting it back then, it was a feel good story last tournament. Yeah. Now it's just like, man, if you can't play, sit the hell down. You know what I mean? Get your stuff together, man. That's not a win. That's a sad stress. That's Ali fighting Larry Holmes right now, bro.
Yeah. Say it. How you feel about Tiger?
I mean, yeah, we know Tiger's leg is going to be the big thing for him to make it through these courses. Him not being able to walk to these different holes is what's killing him. He can't use a cart. So without him not being able to use a cart and being able to walk, I don't think he's going to make it. But he does, like you say, he is a draw, good or bad. People come to see Tiger. Tiger draws ratings. Tiger draws people. No matter who's playing. If Tiger's there, people are going to show up because they want to see, just in case the old Tiger shows up and does his thing. But I don't think he's going to make the cut. I think he's in too much pain.
I got you too. So we got to make a couple of picks real fast. So let's get to these picks. Let's start this off with a little. We're going to call this.
My man AD.
Who you got? That's what we're going to call this. All lines are brought to you by Bet Rivers. So make sure you guys download that Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. And we're just going to pick these two NBA Finals games is what we're going to do, okay? So here's the screen. Here's the spread right now. It's Boston +1, a money line of -104, over-under set at 206.5. The Heat are -1. Boston's +1. The Heat's minus 115. Again, the over-under is 206.5. So let's start off with Bram here. Let me get these comments down. Bram, who do you like?
Well, let me be the buzzkill on this. I can't talk about spreads.
Okay, never mind. Let's stay right where you are.
I can tell you I like the Heat to win the series,
Okay.
but I can't pick a game up. It's a rule that I have with my employer. So.
Oh, gotcha. Understood.
Yeah.
Joe, who do you like?
I would probably take the team that got creamed in the second half, which would probably be the Celtics, just to kind of bounce back. It's been happening so much in all the series. It's just like the other team bounces back. So I'm just going to use the bounce theory.
All right.
So the Celtics will bounce back.
The Celtics. Paulie, who you got?
Hey, what's that money line?
The money line is minus for both of them. Money line is minus 104 for Boston, minus 115.
Give me Celtics money line.
Celtics
money line. Marcus Smart, baby. Smart, baby.
Say it. Who you got?
I think Miami's going 2-0. The shooter for Miami started slow, and I think they're going to come out hot in this game. And give me Miami money line.
Miami money line. I also like Miami. I think they're going to hold it, pull this off as well. And our second game, this is tomorrow's game. The Dallas Mavericks plus 6.5 with a money line of plus 210, over under of 214. Golden State minus 6.5, minus 165, and again that total is 214. Smokin Joe.
I think I got to take Golden State after the Mavs pulled out that win.
Golden State
on Sunday. Golden
All
State.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Paulie.
Hey, look, man, we're gonna make some money here, man. Hey, give me Dallas money line, baby. Dallas gonna come back. Dallas gonna come back and tie the series up at 1, man. They get their legs underneath them. Luka gonna come out there, dominate Dinwiddie. You know what I mean?
Okay. And say it.
Golden State, man.
State.
Mavericks are having a hard time with Wiggins
Who
guarding.
that laughing, man? That's you laughing,
They're having a hard time with Wiggins guarding Luka, and the Mavericks are having a hard time with that weave. I saw it all night. So unless they figure out that weave and who they're going to change and who's going to move,
that's you laughing, bro.
Go 2-0 at home.
That was
that's you laughing, bro.
Yep.
We can make a little sideways afterwards too, man. Ain't no problem, bro.
And Bruce still can't pick a team from Dallas. Bruce said he still can't pick a team from Dallas, and I'm with you. He said he can't pick that team from Dallas. So he likes Golden State, can't pick a team from Dallas again. And everybody's saying go Mavs. Cal said,
hey, where Waynesboro at, man? Where you at, Wayne? You have a lot of stuff to say on Tuesday,
today.
bro. Where you at, bro?
He's not
Wayne the Ghost. Where you at, man?
We got Bram here. We have the voice. We got the voice of the Commanders in the building. So not sure if you heard this or not. I know it popped up sort of late that Carson Wentz actually responded to the Colts owner Jim Irsay saying that the trade for him was a mistake. Did you hear about this, Bram?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So let's just talk about this real fast. Here's what Wentz said. Wentz says, I thought last year was really fun. I thought we did some incredible things, came up short at the end. Obviously, I struggled down the stretch there, and it was bad timing, or the timing was poor, basically. But yeah, I didn't expect to get traded. I didn't expect things to unfold like this. I thought things were going pretty good. So this trade caught him blinded as well. Do we have, now that we've heard from Carson, do we have the quarterback that we need that feel like I heard what you said, I'm going to go play my best now? Or do we still have Carson that we're not sure about yet?
See, that's a good question because I heard his answer too. And there is part of me that wants him to get a little firmer and push back. Right. And be like, oh, you upgraded? We'll see about that. Clearly this owner didn't like him. I don't know why, but he did not. And the way he reacted after the season, I get it. He lost that game against Jacksonville, and they didn't play very well in that game. At one point in time, they were 9-3 in that season, and he had 27 touchdowns and 7 picks. Does that sound like somebody who had a bad season there?
No.
I get it. I get it. It's a disappointment. So, but I'm with you here a little bit. When I heard him, because he's very PC, he's always going to say the right thing. There was part of me that I want to meet mad Carson Wentz a little bit because it's disrespectful to him. Like this owner is making it out like he's the reason why they didn't get wherever he thought they were going to go to. And he clearly made his mind up about him in the summer. So, like he was waiting for him to fail to get rid of him because he didn't like the trade in the first place. I kind of want second overall pick, could have been an MVP before he got hurt 5 years ago, Carson Wentz, to go, excuse me? I'm waiting for that a little bit. And maybe that's just not how he is. Hopefully his play will do the talking for him, and we obviously need him to do that. But right. I'm with you. I'd like to hear a little more pushback from him, honestly.
Nah, I think we good with that, man. I think Carson Wentz good, man. We done had enough players talking about pushback. Players come from other teams talking about what they're gonna do to other teams. Go ahead, he can take the high road and let us let us work through the talking in September, man. We play Jacksonville and Indianapolis. He got a chance to stick it up their ass then. Pause.
One of his other things too that he said was that he had good relationships with people in the locker room. With his teammates, he had some really good relationships, which is why I was sort of digging into his answers with this pushback on Jim Irsay saying that he didn't expect it, but you got to look at it. And I think I heard you say this too, Bram, or somebody else. I want to give you credit for it, but Jim Irsay is probably used to quarterbacks like Peyton Manning. From Peyton Manning, he goes to Phillip Rivers, and now Andrew Luck. I'm sorry, Andrew Luck, and then Phillip Rivers, and then he had Carson Wentz. So yeah, I would expect there to be a big drop off, and what you had from quarterback through the past years. And it's a saying out there, it takes like 8 quarterbacks to replace a Hall of Famer. Well, he had 2 of them back to back, Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. And then you could say Phillip Rivers in the last part of his career, right? That's 3 Hall of Famers in a row. And then you get a kid that gets hurt a lot and injured, and you didn't address your offensive line. How do you feel about it, Bram?
I don't feel like they supported him. And if you know that the organization isn't completely behind you, and we've lived that here, not with this regime, but in previous regimes, how many times were we talking about this team and it's so clear that this coach doesn't like that quarterback or that front office doesn't like this player or that thing? That never works. So, no kidding, they didn't get where he thought he was going to go to. It was clear as day that the owner wasn't supportive of him. I think this team looks at him not as a reclamation project or somebody who's a Band-Aid or a bridge. They feel like if they keep him healthy, get his confidence back up, that they have a winner in him. And they have somebody who can perform at an extremely high level. And he could certainly do things athletically that they haven't had a quarterback do the last few years, or at least under Rivera. So I think if he gets over, I don't know who said, he got shell-shocked by getting traded. I agree with that. He probably did. I'm sure even after the way the season ended, there's no way he thought he was going to get traded. Not off the season that he had, but he did. If he can get past the shell shock of that, get around to his confidence. I think this is why I want the pushback a little bit. I want to hear that he's confident in himself again. That's what I want to hear, because I think he has every opportunity here. He's got an organizational backing behind him to get his career back on track. And he's a very, very good player. He's a high-level player when he's at his best. So I'd like to see the confidence in him.
Hey, he was 20-7. Get his career back on track. He did a solid job. He had a bad game at the end. So I like about it, he admitted to the struggle. He said he struggled at the end. So that's what I like, moving forward. But, man, hey, look, you're not going to get that here in May or June. That ain't going to come until September. Till he throw the ball in the end zone, and get a win. That's when all that redemption is going to come. Right now, either way, it's all just talk. Hey, Matt Ryan might fall off the horse this year.
Well, according to said, Matt Ryan already fell off the horse and bumped his head.
I'm just saying, but so all that, you want to hear him say this, you want to hear it don't even matter what he's saying. It matters what happens when he go out there on the field in September, man. And another thing with this whole contract thing, I like the fact they didn't, they took the $8 to $28 million, man. We all cried about Alex Smith when they did his deal over. Why he tear it up and give him a new deal, and that deal ended up hurting us in the end because he got hurt. So let him play this out and let's see how it goes, man. But I'm good with Wentz, man. I'm good with all that. He just keep quiet, keep your head down, go to work. September, let's roll.
Yep, I feel you.
I think Wentz, because he didn't really say anything, I think he understands, that it's a business. Yeah, he may have been surprised that he was traded, but in the end of the day, this is the NFL, it's a business. NFL, the acronym "Not for Long" stands for that, not for long. You just don't know.
Long.
The thing he needs to do though is at this point he knows how the owner felt. Let me buckle down. Let me get ready. Let me get my guys together. Let's mentally get this together, and we can be ready to go. Let's not whine and complain. Whatever. I'm gonna show him where I am, who I am, and what I'm gonna do. Now, can he do that? That's if he can do that, then all these other questions go out the window.
Well, Cal had a question: was Matt Ryan off his horse when it was 28-3?
He sure was, because had he been like me, he'd have been yelling blitz, and old boy standing on the outside coming in.
28-3.
28-3. So we have another question here. This one's for you, Bram.
He blitzing on the edge of the micro, and he's supposed to.
That wasn't his fault, bro.
It's for you, Bram. Can we talk about Cole Holcomb going to play Mike position? I feel like that may not be the best decision. Apparently, old Ron Rivera has been watching some tape and felt like Cole Holcomb did pretty well at the mic. And we've been talking about this for quite a while. They're either talking themselves into it, seeing things that aren't there, or they don't want to spend the money on this. How do you feel about it?
I mean, right now he's their only solution because he's the only person on the team that can play it. So that's number one. Two, I will say this about him. Like, he is one of those guys, and not all the players are like this, but he's one of those guys in the film room constantly. He's constantly in the building. Like, he wants to get better. This is clearly really important to him. And is he going to be, Fred Warner, or is he going to be, Devin White? No, he's not. Like, he's not athletically built to be anything like that. But I do think from a
bro, this is gonna be your first and last time in this motherfucker.
Right. So I do think that he's a decent answer for them. They have already stated that they're going to bring in someone at least behind him, a veteran. I don't know who that is yet, but it's going to be somebody. And the reality also is this team doesn't play 3 linebacker sets all that much anymore.
Not a lot.
Right. So like this like impetus of they have to have this, they got to have Mike Singletary or something here. I don't think that's how they play defense anymore. So I think I'm going to give Cole the benefit of the doubt. And I know that he's a good player. And is he going to be the best middle linebacker in the NFL? No. But at times last year, he was their most reliable defensive player. And I don't put it past him to be pretty good in this role.
All right.
Long story short, Bram thinks he's going to do a good job.
I do. I do.
Hey, I agree with you, man. Yo, Cole's a good linebacker, man. I think at times they had him doing too much. That's why he's, you can't go out there with one linebacker on the damn field and think he's going to be effective, man. He's trying to cover too much territory. You know what I mean? But I like Cole, man. I think he's going to do a good job, man. Look, man, he single-handedly brought us back in that Dallas game, man. He was the best defensive player on the field. And not just that interception. Before that, he was making all the damn tackles. You know what I mean? I like Cole
Holcomb. Let's talk about another linebacker, Jamin Davis, since we're on that defensive side of the ball. Jamin Davis made some strides towards the end of the season, so he's had a full offseason. So I'm looking forward to seeing him not have a sophomore slump, but have a sophomore like epiphany where he's in the right places, doing the right things, and we can see that freakish athleticism be on full display. What do you think we're going to get from him this year, Bram?
I think the answer is he has to play. Now, like where and how much, I don't know, because outside of Chase Young, I would argue he's the best athlete on the field for them on the defensive side of the ball. So they need to get him out there, and they need to get him playing instinctual again. They clearly wanted him to become the middle linebacker. That did not work out, but they have to get him on the field. So I don't see really, I more look at this as this is on the coaches. This isn't on him. Like, I know what he's capable of. The coaches need to make him comfortable, get him in a position where he can go make some plays. The guy is a tremendous athlete. So I don't really like, when I hear criticism of him, they tried to put him in a position he wasn't comfortable with in the first place. They got away from it. He's still a very, very, very talented player. This one's on the coaches. They got to find a way to utilize him and so that he's a playmaker for them.
I like it. They got to make it work for him.
Yo, I was watching I checked out on the warpath the other night. Shout out Corey, man. You know what I'm saying? I checked this show out, yo. He had my man Jarris up there. He said the smartest thing, man. And I even told Jarris, that's the smartest thing you said the whole show. Yo, they need to unleash him. They need to unleash him like they unleash Michael Parsons, bro. They need to play him like Dallas played Michael Parsons because he got the skills and he got the speed, man. Put him out there on their weak side and let him go. You know what I mean? I mean, he got the most athleticism at linebacker since LeVar Arrington.
Hey, we like that. So now, uh, boys and girls, everybody in the chat, we appreciate y'all for being there. Let's get these likes up. Let's get these likes up right now. Um, Bram, are you able to talk about the ponies and the Preakness?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, you ready?
That one I can do. I wore this for Joe.
Yeah.
This is from the Stronach Group, the Pegasus
Stronach
Cup.
Group.
Stronach Group runs the Pegasus Cup, was richest race in America, and now they own Pimlico. And I'm getting ready. I'll be up there Saturday. I'm doing a live stream from the infield on Saturday.
Well,
That's
I will
great.
be on that stream. Bram, you got to tell us before we get off of here where we can watch your stream because I will be watching that on Saturday. So, boys and girls, get your papers ready because we're about to turn this thing over to Smokin Joe. He's going to get us all ready for this Preakness between him and Bram right here. Write it down. Get your pens and papers ready. And if you don't bet what they tell you to bet, we can't blame nobody but yourself. Okay, you can't blame nobody but yourself. Okay, Joe, are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
All right, let's tell us who you
I
like.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, tell us who you like and why.
Okay. I was at Pimlico today for the Alibi Breakfast, and I got to listen to Wayne Lucas, who trains the four horse. He's the 84-year-old trainer, Hall of Fame trainer, who still gets on his horses every once in a while. And she's a filly, and she's the filly who I told you guys that would win the Kentucky Oaks. If you remember on the show, the first show that I did with you guys, and
Yes.
originally his plan was to run her in the Kentucky Derby, and he ran her in the Arkansas Derby against the boys, and she had a really bad ride with a rider named Louis Contreras, um, and he put on Louis Saez, who I think he's one of my favorite riders, um, in the Oaks. That was the day before the Kentucky Derby, which was 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and she won handily, and I think she's going to win again against the boys on Saturday. She ran as fast as the boys, okay, as fast as the Colts, right? Um, and the fact that when Phillies face Colts, they get a 5 pound allowance in the race. So she's going to be carrying, I think she's carrying 120, she's
100.
carrying 121, and the Colts are carrying 126. So off the numbers that I use, which are the Thorograph numbers, uh, Jerry Brown's Thorograph numbers, that's about a point. So, and I just think that she's going to get a good trip because I think there's some speed in the race, and she'll be able to. Saez will. He's such a good rider. In that field, like in the Kentucky Oaks, there was a lot going on. There's a lot of speed. There were, I think, 14 fillies in that race. There'd be 9 horses in this race, and Epicenter is the deserving favorite. But I can't give you, if you want me to pick somebody, I'm not going to give you a 6-5 shot because
Okay.
you'll probably. So he's going to be the big favorite. So I think the four is going to win. You can bet her to win. Uh, I'm going to try to bring the 8. I have to use the 8, but if I use the 8, then I'm against the 5. The 5 is a horse called Early Voting that
Okay.
Chad
Hold on. You're
Brown
talking about the
trains.
5 now. All right. Let me go to the 5.
We're going to talk about her. Talk
Okay.
about him. His last race was in the Wood Memorial. Now he's 2 out of 3, lightly raced horse. He's a lot like Bram's going to remember Cloud Computing. That Chad Brown won the Preakness with a horse called Cloud Computing, which is similar to this horse. But I just think that Cloud Computing was a little bit better coming in, and that the last race for Early Voting, there was a speed horse, the favorite, a horse called Morello at Aqueduct, and he broke slow from the gate. So Early Voting had an easy lead, a kind of uncontested lead that he gave up late to Mo Donegal. So speed had been holding that day. So I'm kind of against I'm against that horse. So I would play the 4. Uh, you could use probably the 1 underneath. The two's an interesting horse. He's what they call a new shooter, creative minister. The only strike I got against him is that he had too many gaps. Like he got started late, and when I say gaps, he would work out like 4 times. The first time that they were trying to get him going, he worked out 4 times in a row, and they had to stop for 4 months on him. And then they
Wow.
did it again, and they had to stop another 4 months. That means he had some physical issues. Uh, he's surprised maybe he can run underneath. I saw Kenny McPeak today, his trainer. He's a good trainer. But I just the long shot that I like a little bit is Skippy Longstocking, the 9 horse. I talked to Safi Joseph today. We were talking about he uses the Ragason, which are a sheet similar that I use, but I use the Theragraph. So we were talking about numbers, and I think that he'll get a nice setup, and I mean you could use him like I'd box him with the 4, and I'd probably box the 2. I'm sorry, the 4, 8, 9 in a trifecta together because
Hold
the
on.
nine's going to be so long. But I'm picking the 4 to win, trying to get the 9 underneath. So we're looking at 4, 8 over 9, and then maybe even putting the 9 fourth because he's going to be such a price. With other horses in third place, the Fenwick has got no shot at all. Um,
See it all.
Happy Jack has got no shot at all. I can't believe that he went off like lower than Rich Strike. The only reason that he got bet was because of his name on Kentucky Derby Day. People like betting Jack horses. He was jacked up. Armagnac that everybody, they can't pronounce Armagnac. It's like a cognac. It's a French cognac. He doesn't have a shot. So
Shout out to
to
Cognac.
me, it's mostly the 4 and 4, 8, 8, 4, and I'll try to bring in the 9 because that's the way it's going to pay. 4, 8, 9, and I'm going to turn it over to Bram. The last time we were together was at the Preakness. I think it was 3 years ago or 4 years ago, Bram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to disappoint all of you. This is a 2-horse race. There's no money to be won here. Epicenter is going to win and win it easily. It is a shorter field. There is no crazy lightning strike that's going to happen this time and get some magic out of nowhere horse. I'm with Joe. There are a few of the 9-horse field that don't even belong to be there. So it's no traffic, short field, pace should be controlled. I would give Secret Oath half a shot if anyone is going to beat Epicenter, but I don't see it. And I think Epicenter runs the same race he did a couple weeks ago in the Derby, wins, and probably handily. So I hate betting a favorite as well, but I do believe that this one is a little the field is too narrow, the lane is too wide open, and I think he's going to do it. There's one minor thing I'll be watching this week. We're going to have some unusual weather. It's going to be like 100 degrees.
Oh.
So
Really hot.
yeah, and that's unusual. And that part of it, if I feel like or looks like that the trainer or the jockey have warmed up their horses a little too hard, that could come into play here. So if Epicenter has worked a little too hard, I would think that might open the door on a blazing hot day. Short of that, and short of a mistake by the jockey or the trainer in doing so and keeping the horse cool and keeping it ready, I really just don't see anybody beating Epicenter this weekend.
Yeah, he's the Epicenter should have won that race, Kentucky Derby Day. He was the horse that should have won. He was a little too close to the pace. He made his move a little bit earlier than Zandon did, and then it looked like Zandon was going to go by him, and then Epicenter came back. The only problem I got with him, not that he's, the favorite. I just think that around the first turn, he might get caught a little wide. And I'm telling you that 5 pounds, Rosario doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, but I just think there's a little bit, it turns into a jockey's race. He's going to have to to use a little bit more horse early on than he did in the Kentucky Derby. So that's why I think there's a little chink in the armor. There's enough chink in the armor for me. And the numbers that I go by, the sheet numbers, which you know, I don't swear by them because it's just a good tool, but it's enough to say I think I could beat Epicenter. And in multi bets like the pick sixes, the pick fives, I'm not going to use Epicenter unless I have other long shots to use with him. But I think the filly can win. Uh, and you got to look and see what the exact is paying. I mean, Bram's going to be there. It's a little harder when you're on site. Like I could see with a minute to post time, if the 4.884, if they're betting Chad Brown and I'm getting value with the 4.884, I will box that immensely and put more with the 8 on top of the 4. So you got to look at that. So make sure when you play the exacta, you don't play it equally. It's how you build your tickets. You
All right.
bet the 8 stronger over the 4, but you bet the 4 to win.
Got a quick question.
Yeah.
I know you said that it's going to be unusually hot. Do they do anything to the track? Slightly water, leave it dry. Do they do anything to the track?
Yes. They constantly water the track, and that's the 13th race. You got to see how normally on big days like that. Today the track was a little sloppy earlier. They got some rain last night. You have to see how the track is playing. I mean, it's a little easier for me at home, I think, when you're at the track and you're around a lot of people and you're underneath the tent. There's a lot of distractions, so I'm going to pay attention to that. I'm going to see if there's an inside bias, or when I say inside bias, that inside speed horses are winning. So you have to pay attention to that, and physically you have to pay attention to what the horses, how they're acting out there too. And Epicenter's never had a problem. I'm not worried about him.
So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So this race is the field is smaller and the track is smaller, right?
It's a shorter race. It's a 16th of a mile shorter, and the track plays a little bit differently. There's more of a tighter bank to Pimlico, and I've heard some really good explanations from a few jockeys. It's not really tight turns; it's the way the bank plays. That's why sometimes the outside, and in small fields, a smaller field like the 9-horse field that you have there, and there's 3 or 4 horses that really shouldn't even be the race, and they kind of screw it up for the other good horses that are in there. And I just, if Epicenter gets caught a little wide or breaks a little slower, which he normally has, he doesn't break slow. He's very adaptable. He is the horse to beat, but I just think that the filly is as fast as Epicenter.
Okay.
So and I feel pretty confident. And if she gets beat, it's going to be by Epicenter. And I'll try to make it worth my while. 8 over 4.
Bram, you said that a couple of these horses shouldn't even be in here. So a question I have for you right now is: should Happy Jack be in this field?
I mean, he's not that terrible, but there's a clear delineation between the horses that are Triple Crown style Grade 1 horses and a few that really aren't. And in the Preakness, that happens. I mean, it happens in the Derby too. There's a few that typically kind of shouldn't be there, but they have to earn their way into it. The Preakness doesn't kind of work that way. So there's always a couple, and there's typically a local horse that ends up getting in that really shouldn't, it really isn't of the caliber of some of these others that have been on the trail. But I mean, this is not that unusual. It's just pronounced this year because the field is smaller, and there is a clear line between the ones that can win and the ones that can't. And so I know what happened a couple of weeks ago was extremely unusual, like maybe the most unusual outcome the Derby's ever had. That's not happening this weekend. It's literally not happening. One of those 2 horses is winning, they are. One of the two is winning, and the top three is going to be very chalk on the board, in my opinion.
All right. Who has the blinkers on?
First time blinkers is on Happy Jack.
And blinkers.
Actually, they're not first time blinkers. They took them off. Doug O'Neill's putting them back on. It'll make him. The trainer even said he's going to try to be a little bit more forward with the horse. I do know one thing about Skippy Longstocking, the 9 horse. The longer, the better for this horse. And he's raced at a mile and 1/8. I've followed his career because I bet him back at Gulfstream going 2 turns for the first time, and he demolished a pretty good field at that time. And then he had things against him in the race over at Aqueduct. I pay attention to the flow of the race. When you're with the flow, it helps you out. When you're against the flow and you're racing against the flow, it just hurts. It just hurts a race. Like what happened in the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, don't.
The flow.
The horses just got out of the way.
But no, the flow was the race collapsed because they went so quickly. And I see, I bet racing almost every day. I take a couple days off. But when they go too fast, too early, chaos can ensue, even in a grade 1 like the Kentucky Derby. So that's what happened there. So I look for where, like, Simplification was going with the flow. He was a horse that was way back there, and he closed. So I don't really, I just don't think that he did anything super great in the Kentucky Derby. So he did finish 4th, but he was kind of with the flow. So at his odds, he's like 6-1, I think. I'd rather take a horse like Simply Longstocking, who's 20-1.
20-1.
And might go off a little bit further, who was against the flow, and has got a little bit more. He's got more time coming back. I think he's got more of a shot to run under than Simplification. He's got more value to run under than Simplification, because it's not going to, like if you play 8-4-1 triple, it's just not going to pay that much.
Okay.
So it's not, unless you play it very strong. If you have a very strong conviction about something, then you play it hard. And I know a lot of guys that do. And there's, if the 8 goes off at even money, when you bet a football game, you're betting even money, right?
Right.
So if this horse wins by like second chariot, that even money is going to look like a great thing. So,
All right.
I would just rather have. I think that Secret Oath is going to go more off at like 5-1, because they're going to bet the Chad Brown horse early voting. I think he's going to be the second favorite. I could be wrong. Secret Oath could be the second favorite.
I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
What is Win Play Show, right?
Yes.
And that's what it's.
Second,
Bram.
Yeah.
Bram, give me a Win Play Show, Bram.
Put all your money on Epicenter and just be happy that you get double your money back.
That ain't what I asked you, boss.
A win's a win's a win.
That ain't what I asked you, boss.
Listen,
I said, give me a Win Play Show.
All right. So again, this is not a money race.
Okay, we got Epicenter for a win. We got Epicenter for a win. Give me place.
I like Secret Oath. I agree with Joe there. I like Secret Oath.
All right, now give me a show.
Oh God, pick someone.
No, you don't want to bet show.
Who comes in third? Like what?
Who's going
to come in third in the NFC this year? I don't know. Anybody will come in third. I don't know.
Who's your long shot? Bram?
I'm not sure yet.
Hey, look,
I got to get back to you on that one, because I'll like Joe. Like I'm
gonna get back to you. Hey, we probably got about 5-10 more minutes on the show. When we gonna get back to you, bro? Give us your long shot, man. What you
You're gonna
talking
have to
about?
listen to Bram.
What you talking about, man?
You go
Come on, man.
5-10 more minutes. Pizza's already cold. All right.
Just throw a name out there,
you gotta
bro.
remind me next time. I gotta tell Toothpick.
Look, winning horse.
Hour-long shows. I get paid a lot of money for that. All right. Let's see.
We got your shirt on the way, Bram.
Hey, I like how you think, Bram.
My DMs are open. DM me Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll
I
tell
got
you who
you.
my long shot is because I can't tell you who
Bram's
that is
gonna
right
be
now.
Bram's gonna be out there.
Bram
So he's
Weinstein.
gonna he might hear some juice. He's gonna be by the paddock.
Right.
He's gonna
Oh yeah.
see, and that's the thing. Sometimes the NBC feed, I don't think it's as good as the and Bram. Let me ask you this question because it's like I love what Maggie Wolfendale does. I mean, we're very friendly, but on Derby Day they don't have anybody that's like in the paddock really as a presence like her saying what these horses really look like and how they're acting and whether they've acted that way before. That is so important and how they react to the crowd. And the NBC, they don't, I mean, their telecast is a little bit kind of vanilla for all the public to the mint juleps sort of thing, to where when it gets down to really, there's somebody who's acting up who might have a chance, and that's a bad thing.
10 minutes.
You want to hear about it. So
Listen, I hear you, Joe, but I also, when I watch TV, want to look at the woman in the sundress and not hear about the horse that's acted up in the paddock. That's entertainment, baby.
I like how you think, Bram.
So Bram, where can we find you at on this stream on Saturday?
So I work with a good group called America's Best Racing. And they do all sorts of horse racing coverage, and they always invite me up to go to the Preakness. And my dad got me into horse racing when I was a kid. So it's after the NFL, it's often my second favorite sport. I love watching it, and I get into it. And there's kind of nothing like Preakness Day. So I would be going either way. I'm just happy they're going to have me come up there and get some good access, food, and maybe some tips from some of the people who know a lot more than I do, for sure.
So you can find Bram on Saturday at America's Best. With that live
That's in
stream.
Philly. The Preakness, where the Preakness at?
It's in Baltimore.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's the Belmont Stakes? That's in New York.
That's in
New
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
I'll be
All right.
at Belmont, which is I've never been to the Belmont before, so I was invited
What?
by.
Well, hey, Joe, you
What?
strike me as a New
Really?
York type of guy.
What?
No, I'm a DC sort of guy. Just like I told.
All right. I know that's right. It's in the water.
I told Ken McPeak, the trainer, because he was talking about Maryland, how he loves Maryland accents, Hun and Baltimore.
That's right, hon.
Yeah, that's right, Hun. And I have a DC accent because
Yeah.
I talk fast because everybody was chasing me in alleys. So, Coach Thompson knows about that.
All right. So after the Preakness is the Belmont. So we're gonna have to do this again so we can get some more horse betting in, and we're also going to get Joe for lessons on how to go to the track and bet that. So that's coming soon as well after these 3 big races. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bram, I'm gonna let you get to your pizza. You can catch Bram on
No. We gotta let Bram go before you expect a check.
Bram, thanks. Make sure you say hi to Dan.
Don't worry. Hey, don't worry,
Dan
Bram. Check in the
Fortman, and
mail.
everybody for me, please.
I will say hi to Dan. Thank you. Check's in the mail. Check is in the mail.
Check in
Yeah.
the mail, baby. Don't worry
Thanks,
about
Bram.
it.
Good luck with the Commodores this year too.
The Commodores. Listen. I'm saying this right now. I'll say this everywhere. The bar for me is winning season and playoffs, and I don't think that's really. I don't think that's being too optimistic. Like
Nope.
that schedule set up for them. I expect
Yep.
playoffs this
Yeah.
year. I really do.
No, not just the schedule. I don't even care what the schedule is, man. It's year 3. We was promised 3 to 5 years. So this is supposed to be the start of winning right now. So that's why I'm expecting playoffs and winning. Hey, the percentages are the third team that's favored to win the division usually win our division. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's get it. Thank you, Bram. You can catch Bram at ESPN 6:30 on the AM side, Monday through Fridays. At what time does that start, Bram? Because I always catch the end of it.
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
we
guys.
appreciate you.
All right.
And Smokin Joe is with us here. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the First Ring Podcast. Let's get these likes up. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that jump in here early. Thank you, Smokin Joe, for joining us again.
Smokin Joe. Appreciate you,
nowhere.
man.
You.
Nice to meet you too, man. And we gonna get rich together. All right. Don't get rich. Be already rich, baby.
All right.
Have a hunch, bet a bunch.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there you go.
So we call it an OG classic because we get in, we get out. Hit him with it, Polly.
Hell to the W.
Peace.
Go Dogs.